Hello there. Today I'm going to say a bit about body meditation and the value and benefits of doing that. And then on the following video, we'll do a body meditation. So one of the misunderstandings about meditation is that we sometimes imagine that we're supposed to have an empty mind, that thoughts are supposed to completely stop and we're going to sit there in a state of serenity. And of course, if that's what we expect from meditation, when we come to meditate, we're going to be very disappointed because all our habits of thinking, all thoughts of the past and the future, what we're going to do when we finish meditating, what we'd like, what we wouldn't, what we don't like, it all crops up. It's all there waiting. And of course, we're not used to sitting quietly in meditation. And so what happens is that we're deluged with all these thoughts. And the feeling that we get then can be disappointment. So what we're actually looking for is our direct experience without getting attached. It's really terribly simple, except that it's very hard to do. So yes, we're wanting to be aware in the present moment as to what's happening in our mind, in our emotions, and in our physical experience. So bringing attention, learning how to bring attention to the body is actually a very important part of meditation. In other words, how to be embodied. And we can recognize that we have the same sort of embodiment as everybody else, but not just everybody else, but everything else. We're all made up of the elements. Everything in the phenomenal world is made up of earth and water, fire, air, and space. And when we bring attention to that, it really helps us to let go of this identification that we've got of ourself and our thinking habits. So just knowing, simply knowing at a deep level that that's what we are. We're made up of these elements. They've come together at a particular time, and from the time of our birth, they start deteriorating. So when we bring loving attention to that understanding, to that knowledge, it doesn't become something fearful. It becomes a natural part of life. You know, death is part of life, isn't it? It's an experience that we cannot avoid. But anyway, back to the body. When we bring our attention to the body, what tends to happen, let's say I say bring your attention to your feet. It's very likely that we'll see in our mind's eye a kind of blueprint of foot. We know what feet look like. And that's not what we're aiming to do. We're aiming instead to be in touch with a direct felt experience, an immediate direct felt experience. That sounds terribly easy, but actually it's quite difficult to just bring attention to that. So if I bring attention to my feet right now, what I notice first of all is the pressure that they're making with the floor. And that's a mysterious sensation because it's not particularly pleasant, it's not unpleasant, but it's not neutral. It's a very strong sensation. There's a pressure going down into the floor that I can feel in my foot. So if I enter that experience, that direct experience of the sensations, what can I feel? What can I detect? Well, I can feel that there's clothing against my feet, there's socks, there's pressure in particular areas, so I notice those. There's a sense of confinement because I've got shoes on. So yeah, I can feel that they are encased in some way. They're not free to wiggle perhaps as much as without shoes on. So I'm just noticing those sensations. And then if I bring my attention up into the lower legs, I notice that in the calf muscles, there's definitely a sense of aliveness there. I can feel that it's muscle. I mean, what tells me that? There's activity there. It's not quite relaxed. And yet, if I give it attention to the sensations in the calf muscles, they do start letting go a bit. They start relaxing. And then when I bring attention to the front of the lower legs, to the shins, there's a sense of vulnerability there that I can sense because the skin is very close to the bone. There's no padding there. So that's a different sensation to the calf muscles. It's quite subtle. So you get the idea. We're bringing attention to the direct sensations in the body. And sometimes those direct sensations are holding emotions, for example, in our belly. Our belly is quite soft, although there might be some tension there. That might be because we're anxious, or a bit fearful, or a bit excited. So we can notice that our body responds all the time to our emotional state. So what we're learning to listen to the voice of the body. And it's a much quieter voice, very often anyway, to the voice of our thoughts. Our thoughts are loud. There's concepts there. There's words. There's messages, and they're very clear messages. But when we listen to the sensations of the body, we're learning how to tune into the way the body holds emotions and to the subtlety of sensation. Because a lot of it is quite subtle, unless we've got pain. And in another video, I'll probably have something to say about how we turn towards pain when we're giving attention to the body. How do we deal with pain in meditation? I'll deal with that another day. So the next meditation will be, the next video will be a meditation on the body. But I'm going to leave it there for now. Bye-bye.